The CIA's powers must be significantly reduced to ensure accountability and protect the rights of the American people. History has repeatedly shown us that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and absolutely absolute power corrupts without limit. This principle is particularly relevant to the unchecked authority of the CIA. If these powers are not curtailed, the agency will continue to grow into an even greater threat, causing harm not only to individuals, but to the very fabric of our society. The unchecked authority of the CIA allows for the misuse of sensitive information and advanced technologies without proper oversight, leading to potential abuses that spiral further out of control. To address this, we must demand that the CIA's access to critical databases be mediated by an impartial third party. This third party would act as a safeguard, ensuring that any access to data is strictly for legitimate and serious purposes, such as addressing genuine national security threats, and not for clandestine or harmful agendas. Similarly, the agency's use of advanced technologies, including surveillance tools, must be tightly regulated. These tools should only be deployed after being vetted by an independent body, ensuring their use is lawful and necessary, not for harassment, manipulation, or torment. Currently, the CIA exploits its database access and spying technology to cover up its own misconduct and to further its unchecked influence. This abuse of power must end, or we risk the decline of our society into chaos, inequality, and systemic corruption. The CIA's capacity to manipulate individuals and institutions is deeply troubling. They wield significant power to reward cooperation by granting benefits such as job opportunities, career advancement, and social standing, while punishing dissent by sabotaging careers, destroying reputations, or undermining personal success. The agency acts as both benefactor and saboteur, depending on who aligns with its interests and objectives. This dynamic fosters a culture of fear and dependency, where people feel compelled to comply with the CIA to protect themselves or advance their careers. Such concentrated power exemplifies how unchecked authority leads to corruption, as it creates a system where the agency can operate with impunity and exert undue influence over individuals and organizations alike. It is particularly concerning that, despite the existence of countless nonprofit organizations advocating for reform across various sectors, such as policing, the FBI, corporate monopolies, and environmental protection, there appears to be no prominent organization dedicated to holding the CIA accountable. How is it possible that one of the most powerful and secretive agencies in the world faces no organized opposition? The answer lies in the ironic truth that many of these nonprofit organizations are infiltrated or controlled by the CIA itself. These organizations are often led by boards dominated by individuals covertly connected to the agency. With their ample resources and time, CIA agents are able to influence and control these spaces, while ordinary citizens are often too consumed with their personal responsibilities to mount effective resistance. This allows the CIA to shape and direct these organizations to align with its own vision and suppress dissent. Consequently, any attempt to expose or challenge the CIA is neutralized before it gains momentum, further entrenching the agency's power. The role of fear in amplifying the CIA's influence cannot be overstated. The agency thrives on fear, using it as a tool to consolidate its power. Terrorism, in particular, serves as a key mechanism for this fear-driven control. By perpetuating the narrative of imminent threats, the CIA justifies its expansive powers and budget increases. I firmly believe that the CIA has been involved in the establishment and funding of terrorist organizations like ISIS to maintain this cycle of fear. After Al-Qaeda was dismantled, ISIS conveniently emerged, ensuring that public fear remained constant or even intensified. This fear allows the CIA to retain its lucrative positions and its control over the lives, careers, and freedoms of ordinary people. The result is a vicious cycle. The more fear is generated, the more power the CIA accrues, and the more corrupt and unaccountable it becomes. Ultimately, the principle that absolute power corrupts absolutely underscores the necessity of addressing this situation. The CIA's unchecked authority represents a textbook example of how concentrated power leads to systemic abuse. When power becomes absolutely absolute, as in the case of the CIA, the corruption becomes limitless and uncontainable. If we fail to act, the agency's corruption and overreach will continue to grow, undermining our freedoms, rights, and society as a whole. It is imperative that we demand accountability, transparency, and oversight to rein in the CIA's powers. Without these measures, the agency will remain a self-serving entity, prioritizing its own interests over the well-being of the nation.